We're going to Fire Island.
My girls have arrived!
I can't believe you talked me into this again. I come here, I just feel terminally alone. Whoa, are you all right? It's fine. It happens all the time.
Andrew and Margaret, how are you both doing today?
Great.
Hi, we're good.
First of all, congratulations on the movie. I both laughed and cried, which is, I think, the correct response to a film like this. But I'm going to kick off with what might be the most difficult question you'll ever be asked. There is a fantastic karaoke scene in this movie. What is your go-to karaoke number when the microphone's been handed to you?
I have two. Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
Okay.
And then Erasure, A Little Respect.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I love that. I think mine would be the Goodbye Earl by the Chicks.
Oh, wow.
And Total Eclipse of the Heart, but it must be a duet with Kathy Griffin. Actually, a trio with Kathy Griffin and Wanda Sykes. So we've all got to do it together.
Wow, that's specific, and
Yeah.
I want to be there whenever that materializes.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
One of the reasons why I love this is because it's presented, I think, outside of America, Fire Island as a place and as an idea isn't really super well known. I'm aware of it because I just am, but I think outside of America, it is representing a side that a lot of people wouldn't know about. And here in Ireland, especially in the last 10 or 15 years, we take Pride very, very seriously. And obviously in the last 2 years, we haven't been able to celebrate it as well as we would like to. So for each of you, what exactly does Pride represent? What is it about Pride that you really, really enjoy every year?
I go into credit card debt and caloric debt trying to look as thin and snatched as possible for the entire month of June, which is actually like anti-Pride because it's like, why do I have to present like my quote unquote perfect self to be proud? But that's what a lot of people in the queer community do, is that we just like get up that sort of like snatched energy to try to be so perfect. And really, it's just, I mean, I've been going to Gay Pride since 1978, so I have seen a lot of changes through it. But now I see that side of it. But Pride really is just about a celebration of self and each other.
Yeah, I think for me, it's about community and celebrating queer joy. And I think it's about expression. I think Pride is about telling people who you are. And that could either be through art, filmmaking, photography, telling a story to someone, protest. I think showing the world, that we are proud of our identity and wanting to use that as a way to make even more, make an even more like equitable world. I think that that's what Pride is about.
Well, before I move on from that particular topic, I just want you both to consider this, of course, your open invitation to come celebrate Pride in Ireland. Whenever you're around, you let me know, and I'll get it all sorted from
That'd be
this
fun.
episode.
I love that.
I have noticed 2022, I was just looking forward. So for Ireland, we've got Bros, we've got the comeback of Queer as Folk, we've got a Blumhouse horror movie called They Them. It does feel like more than ever, it's queer filmmakers, it's queer people in front of the camera, it's telling specifically queer stories, and it's big Hollywood production behind it. Have you noticed that kind of sea change from your side of much more supportive companies telling, we want you to tell your stories and our stories in that manner?
I constantly tell Joel, I don't know how you bamboozled Searchlight into making this movie, because, even 5 years ago, I can't imagine a movie like Fire Island being made, but I do think that there is, that Fire Island is a sign of changing times, that the industry is catching up to what, you know, audiences have been wanting to see for so long. Like they want more, you know, diversity on screen. They want more queer stories. They want more intersectionality. You know, I still think it's hard out there, you know, and I'm still waiting for like a real gay Lord of the Rings or something, you know.
It'd be so exciting.
Watch
Oh my God,
that.
Lord of the
so
Cock
much.
Rings. I'm Gandalf. I want to be an Ent.
You would be so good as gay Gandalf.
I would be such a good gay Gandalf. I mean, like all like and they're all like foot fetishists. They're all like foot fetishist bears. And it's real Hobbit. Like I think that would be hot. Lord of the Cock Rings. Let's do it.
Yes, yeah.
We're coming
I
to
mean-
New Zealand now.
And if you want to film some of that in Ireland too, of course. I
Perfect.
mean, we've got woods and stuff here, so
love
we're
it.
good. We got it.
Yes.
Margaret and Andrew, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Do they have a house on the beach?
Have you seen the way they're drinking? They're clearly using us for free liquor.
Promise me you'll try to have a good time.
Do not let these people think that they are better than us. Never mind.
Joel and Bowen, how are you both doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Great, such a pleasure to talk to you both. I'm going to dive right in and ask maybe the most difficult question you've been asked all day. There is a fantastic karaoke scene in this movie, but what is your go-to karaoke song when someone hands you the mic?
Ooh, I like a country song maybe as a way of storytelling. Wide Open Spaces by the Chicks is great. It's like a nice American.
Nice.
classic.
Yeah, I really like I like crowd pleasers. I like the audience to sing along with me. So mine is usually Ironic by Alanis Morissette.
I follow that train of thought as well, but that's just the sound out, drown out my sound of
Yeah,
singing.
exactly.
If they
No,
can't
same,
hear me over
same.
their own, then I've
Yeah,
won.
Exactly. Yeah.
In Ireland, we take Pride very, very seriously, especially in the last couple of decades. But the last 2 years, obviously, we couldn't celebrate quite the way we would have liked to. So, two things. One, consider this your open invitation to come celebrate Pride in Ireland
Oh
whenever
Oh
you
my
like.
God, would
to, yeah.
love to.
And number two, can you tell us, for both of you, what Pride means for you? I know it's a very broad question, but I think it's an important one.
For me, it's about sort of coming into communion with other people. Like Pride ends up being the time of year where I see a lot of friends who don't live in the same place that I do. You know, it always feels so fortuitous, or not even fortuitous, but like the occasion is Pride. Like that's the reason why we come together. So it feels like, you know, feels like there's some really holy sort of like protected time around it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always been that step beyond acceptance, right? Like we all have this journey, I think, as gay or queer people, where you know we accept who we are, but then to actually have pride in who we are is like it takes a lot more work, you know, to not be ashamed and to live authentically, truly authentically. And so, pride is like a wonderful moment where you can celebrate all of that work that you've put into not only living authentically, but being, you know, actually being proud of it.
I was looking forward at the rest of 2022, and I feel like there is a bit of a sea change, even from my perspective. So we've got For Ireland, we've got Bros, we've got Queer as Folk coming back later this year. We've got a Blumhouse horror movie, They Them.
Yeah.
It does feel like there are some huge Hollywood movie makers handing over money to queer filmmakers and queer actors and all the way down, just everyone involved. And it does feel like we're getting more of that. From your perspective, who would be much closer to it, does it feel that way as well? Are you feeling that sea change as well?
Yeah, it's hard to it's when you list them all out like that, and you also have like Heartstopper and Keenan Lonsdale's movie My Fake Boyfriend coming out too. It does feel that way, but it's still hard. It's still hard to be in the room and get them to take you seriously. And so I hope that my hope is that there's enough variety within all of this media that's coming out that people will be able to see that like it's not just one thing. Like being gay or being queer, it's not just one voice. It's a lot of different perspectives, and there's room for many more.
And just one last question, if that's okay. I've been told, I don't know if this is true, if a movie looks like it was a lot of fun to make, then it's probably not a lot of fun to watch. This movie was a lot of fun to watch. but it also looked like it was a lot of fun to make. Was there one specific day where you're like, how is this a movie I'm having the most fun? Because genuinely, that's how good the acting is. I felt like I was watching people at a party.
That's
Oh my God,
amazing.
that's so
Thank you.
sweet.
I think for both of us, it was the 2 weeks that we actually shot on Fire Island. Like all those days were amazing days. And you know, there's this when you shoot in New York or LA, it is very much like you punch in, you punch out, you go home at the end of the day, you say goodbye to your coworkers. And when we were shooting on Fire Island, it was like summer camp. You know, like we would go home at the end of the day, like where are we all eating? We all stayed in the same house. You know, we would, watch Real Housewives together, and just like it was a really wonderful, wonderful experience.
Or you would just like go and like eat like a slice of pizza with like the crew people. Like,
Yeah.
it was just so familial, like the entire, just at every level, it all just kind of got clumped together, which might seem a little, tenuous because it's like, oh, well, like the boundaries sort of break down, but it was just so lovely to have everyone there together.
Fantastic. Joe, Bowen, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
You think that if you're vulnerable for 1 second, it's gonna come crashing down.
Oh my God, my baby's drowning!
What are we gonna like hug and wrap this up? How does this end?
My biological clock is ticking like this.
Penelope Cruz.
Oh, who is this?